What is up, guys, and welcome to the first episode of Monster Hunter. Um, Now, I tried playing this earlier today, and it crashed when I was playing it, so I turned down the settings and I changed recording softwares. So I'm hoping this will work a little better. Um, Not sure what that sound was. It is currently 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to try not to be too loud. Now, my house is a lot bigger than my apartment was, and they're really far away, so hopefully they can't hear me. Both the doors are shut, so let's give this a shot. So, this is my main profile right here. I don't play a lot because I'm pretty well almost maxed out on what I can do. I mean, I could keep grinding and getting my levels up higher. I just don't see the point other than entitlement. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on, and this is just a duplicate I made of profile that glitched out. Not sure what happened there. Like, there's something wrong with the hunter rank there. Whatever. But we're starting from scratch with this profile. I'm currently actually in my Domino's uniform right now, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna try to start recording around this time, so I'm gonna have a different outfit laid out for it. Sorry about that sound. That's our new toilet. Okay. Last time the audio wasn't linking up, so let's see how it looks now. Seems to be lining up a little better. He got off a little bit there at the end, but for the most part, it's doing better. Let's see. Sorry if there's stuff you can't see there, guys. Hopefully, you can still see my character alright, though. Start with the default face. Firm. A little tan. Now, I bought a few extra hairstyles here and there to choose from. These two hairstyles remind me of the Leon Kennedy look. His head looks like a dangerous weapon. Jesus. Pretty sure these are the female hairstyles at that point. I think we're going to go with that one. Take one more look at these. Yeah, we're going to go with that one. Slightly thicker. Those are pretty good. Lower them just a bit. Kind of like his nose the way it is. I think I like his lips regular. Yeah. Do very minuscule facial hair. Also because his face is going to be covered up anyway. Yeah, and like I was saying before, I don't know if I mentioned it this time around, but basically, after they added the DLC, before they added the DLC, these are the three different kinds of armor you can choose from: the leather, the chainmail, and the origin was a special DLC piece that I got from pre-ordering the game or getting it like really early. I think I pre-ordered it a day in advance and got that set, which was a little bit stronger armor with some cool attributes and stuff like that. But this is a slightly newer version that came out with the DLC, and it's quite overpowered. Basically, this is like almost end-game armor for the main game, so it makes you a lot stronger early on. but it kind of takes some of the fun out early on. You don't get to experiment with the armors and stuff like that like you would later on. So, but it's a strong armor. Like, it does 50 times the amount of defense as the rest of the armor pieces that you could choose from. So, and it's kind of boring. You have to stick with the same armor for the entire beginning part of the game. Since I'm already using VIN number, I'm going to use the name of my new profile. My new YouTube channel for that VIN link. Which I have created the channel at this point. I haven't uploaded anything to it yet, but it is up. I always go with this one because it looks just like my cat Esther. I'm not going to bother changing into it. Man, the animals in this house make a lot of noise. Call it Esther, after my cat's name. Alright. Let's get started. So, if you're new to this game, some of the things they're saying is kind of interesting. So, they're all traveling to this new area called the New World. And something you may have heard them say is the Fifth Fleet. That's what they refer to this team, is the Fifth Fleet. And that's because it's the fifth crew of people that have come out to the New World. Over, I think, a many year period. This conversation made no sense to me. I'm not sure if they partnered up here or if they partnered beforehand. This is just an awkward conversation. But that's my partner in this game. I don't quite understand myself, but yeah. I'm not going to explain too much because I kind of want anyone who's new to kind of enjoy the game. But, I find it interesting just how it starts it. I hate the beginnings because it's so slow to start up. You have cutscene after cutscene after training montage, and it's so boring. They like to set the scene for the game. I do appreciate that early on right here you don't have a stamina bar that you have to worry about. Yeah, the ground. Whoop, like. I really don't like how the graphics look now that I had to turn them down. So I usually play this game on really high graphics because of my computer, but um, it wouldn't let me record and play it at the same time on high resolution. Like, I hope it doesn't do that frequently. Oop, audio's desynced. Hopefully that doesn't become a regular occurrence, because otherwise that's going to get really annoying. So you can't skip these cutscenes either. Thankfully, most of this game is going to be about the fight. Nah, doi. Uh-huh. Oh, hex spike. Nah, I just wanted to sit here. You coming? Where the hell are you? You coming? This is what I hate about this beginning part. You have to wait on her slow butt. Fascinating. I don't care. I'm not here to look at the stupid meat dinosaurs. No, really? As this map would never indicate that there's no open path through here. Yeah, that's what they do. It's a vitality plant. It heals you. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, you found the way, did you now? What if I don't want to follow him? Okay. The hiding mechanism in this game is kind of weird. I mean, it makes sense for the most part. Bigger animals can generally see through a hiding spot, but they're a good temporary solution. Yeah, it's funny that they can still find you in those patches of grass pretty easily, but if you pull out a little suit called a ghillie suit that you can get later, apparently they just can't find you at all. Fascinating. We'd already be there if you weren't so damn slow. Oh, I promise the second episode of this is going to be a lot more entertaining. It's a joggerous. It's a great joggerous track. Let's move. I think there's a rut over here where he rolled around. Yeah. Skid mark. Bike spike again. I want my hammer. That's an Anjanath. Oh, you stupid audio. Quit desynching. Guess it's not off terrible, but it's enough to be annoying. Still runs better than it does on an Xbox. The Xbox version runs like shit. Version on my Xbox One S isn't bad, but the Xbox One version, if you play it on the Xbox original, the Xbox One original, it can't play it very well at all. it stutters so much.
Amazing, ain't it? Just look at this gate. It's like nature meant for us to build a stair right here.
I like how they put ribbons on it to make it look more festive.
Residents are already here.
Excuse me.
You're the last to arrive. We couldn't find you till you were starting to sweat bullets.
See, there it is. It's out of sync again.
This here's our trade yard. I guess the name says it all.
When I first started playing this area was set up. Felt this area was set up pretty well. It was really nicely designed. He's gonna give us a tour, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. Down here at the bottom, they have some of the like quest-related stuff. They do their meetings. They talk about research and stuff like that down here, as well as have a couple of basic shops for buying supplies and potions and shit. But as you go upward, up the stairs and stuff, you hit the workshop and the eatery place, which is known as the canteen here. And I thought it was all really well set up. That is until I got to the Iceborne DLC and saw how much more compactly they made it to where you can just get to each area without struggling. Yeah. He'll try to talk over stuff. I'm not too worried. He just says, go check things out more or less. I know where my Pelico is. He's up at the canteen eating. He's a little pig. Maybe after I actually have some money. And later when I actually need it, because his armor will deflect the most damage I'll take. But how long have we been recording for? 28 minutes? Okay. Yeah, we're about to wrap it up. We'll wrap it up once he finishes his little... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this episode a little bit longer since you guys haven't gotten much action. I'll try to fight the first boss. But that just tells you how long they've been in this area. And if this grown man was born here and raised here, the old man is his grandfather. That means he's 2 generations old. That means that's roughly like 40 years. I don't know if it'll let me... Okay, yeah, it won't let me make anything yet. No, he's up here stuffing his face. Well, technically he's looking for me, but he's up here. Happy little furry friend. I bet that cat weighs a ton.
Right. Calling for a council. Come on. Now that you are all here, let us begin the council.
I really wonder how they decide who's part of the council. I mean, there's me and her who are just random Fifth Fleet members. Like, there's a shit ton of the Fifth Fleet members, but there's us two right there. And then on top of that, there's the leader, obviously, over there in the front. Then his grandson. They're one of their top rank hunters behind him. To the right, you have the smithy guy. Further to the right, there the cat. That is the canteen's cook. Further to the right is the ecological researcher who tells you more about tracks and stuff like that. Over to the far left, that scientific looking guy, he's the one that runs the gardens and stuff like that. One to the further left, he is an engineer. He doesn't do a lot in the first area here. I can't remember where he sits at most of the time, but in the second area, he actually runs this thing called Steamworks. And then that girl to the left there, she does research missions. And, I mean, all of them make sense. They all run important tasks here at the guild. But why us two out of the Fifth Fleet? Where's the rest of the Fifth Fleet? Like that other guy and girl, for example. Why did we get singled out from all them? Makes sense to me. That creature that big rock thing we pulled up on, although I didn't really touch on it too much, that was an elder dragon that he's talking about, Zora Magdaros. Okay. I think he tells us when you go check out our bedroom. First, you'll need a weapon, so he tells you to go over to your room. So the bedroom's like where you change out your weapons, change your Palico's gear, and go. You can also access the training room from your bedroom. Your bedroom changes over time too. You get better bedrooms as you progress and stuff like that. I think there's 3 different bedrooms you get during the main game, and then in the DLC you get a special customizable bedroom. Alright, so yeah, I know what the DLC says. I do not use that. Come here, my big baby. My big iron hammer. I'm a hammer user in this game. I'm planning on messing around with another hammer. Now, for anyone who's not familiar, a different weapon I mean, but for anyone who's not familiar with this game, unlike most games where you have 1 or 2 different styles of weapon, this game actually has, I think, 14. Yeah, 5, 10, plus 4 more. So, going through these, we have the Buster Sword, which is the same thing as that other guy that's standing in the room has. It's a big, heavy-hitting, slashing damage sword kind of weapon. It does cutting damage, but it's also a very blunt-force weapon. It does a lot of damage, but it's slow. The katana is kind of in between. It's a very fast cutting weapon, has a big range. It's kind of slower than some blades, but it's still a really fast weapon compared to the hammer or buster sword. The hunter's knife is a really fast sword and shield combo weapon. It's you can hold the shield to defend yourself, block, kind of shove things back, bam, hit them with the shield, or you can use the weapon to do slashing, stabbing, cutting, damage, and all kinds of combinations. Dual blades is very similar. It's the fastest set of weapons in the game. You can do the most amount of damage in the shortest amount of time. Has some of the highest DPS depending on what damage points per second of all the weapons, but it also has the lowest damage out of any weapon in the game, meaning you have to get that many hits to even make up for the lack of damage that you're doing. Now, the sword and shield in this combat situation does have a similar damage, but it gets a buff up compared to the dual blades later on. The hammer is my personal favorite weapon. It does the most damage out of any weapon in the game. It's a very slow weapon, but it can be comboed very well if you know what you're doing. It does stun damage, meaning it prevents, if you hit animals, creatures in the head, you can cause them to get stunned, preventing them from being able to move or do anything, which allows you to get more hits in. The metal backpaps are very similar to the hammer. They're very heavy hitting weapon, but they have it does slightly less damage than the hammers do, and you get a special thing called notes, which allows you to make music that does special effects. It's mostly a group weapon. It's like an instrument you can play while you're fighting to help change the outcome of fight, increase attack damage, increase defense, whatever you need to do, increase attack, lower enemies attack and defense. It's a pretty weird weapon. I've tried getting into it and I don't really understand it. But the Iron Lance, long range, heavy hitting weapon. It's kind of a weird kind of thing. You charge a lot. I don't quite understand it. The gun lance is very similar, except it has a gun built in. Not a whole lot of difference there. The proton axe is kind of a weird weapon. It morphs between an axe and a sword, kind of like. So I think this is called a. Yeah, this is called a switch axe. It switches between a sword and an axe, and it does quite a bit of damage. Now this switches between a sword shield combo and an axe. It's slightly different. It's called the Proton Commission axe. It has I don't know how it works exactly. It morphs together and has this weird shotgun-like thing going on. I don't know. The insect glaive is a personal favorite of mine. I'm not very good with it, and unfortunately, it's very disappointing in how it's set up. So, it's one of the few weapons where you can get aerial damage. You can do a lot of aerial combat with this, but the problem is the aerial combat with it is very nerfed. You can't do very much damage in the air at all. This weapon is designed to allow you to stay in the air or shoot these little insects that have special abilities, but one of those two things is nerfed heavily. So it wants you to focus on staying on the ground doing damage while shooting these little bugs at it, which I think is kind of stupid. And here's the 3 ranged weapons in the game. The Chain Blitz, which is kind of like a semi-automatic gun in most games, if you've played some games that have guns in them. The Iron Assault, this is called a bow gun, a heavy bow gun, or a bow. Bow gun is like a SMG, kind of mid-range, mid-attack. The Iron Assault's kind of like a heavy machine gun. Really strong, fire sort of attacks and stuff like that. It shoots a lot of ammo. These two you actually have to make your own ammo, which is kind of interesting. And then we have the bow gun, or the bow, which is just like it says. You don't really have to get a whole lot of ammo for it. It's got infinite for the most part. But if you want to do anything special like power, paralysis, poison, sleep, blast, you have to get special coatings to put on your arrows. So there's that. And then there's the bugs, which are for the insect glaive. So personally, my favorite weapon, again, is the hammer. I can play with the dual blades, and I've messed around with the Buster Sword. I may be giving the Buster Sword a try, just because I've used the Buster Sword before and I know how it works, and I think I could do good with it. I just haven't sat down enough to mess with it. For now, I'm going to show you what I can do with a hammer. Okay. So I'm gonna collect the DLCs real quick. Yeah. It's not gonna let me. I wonder if it'll let me change my handlers. I didn't realize I bought that. That's hilarious. So you can change the costume of your character. I'm gonna do that one. I wonder if it changes their voice. Okay. Alright, so I never realized I bought that. I think for the first quest I have to just use hammer as is. Yep. I know I have to go meet with my handler. And this is a little conveyor belt that can take you up the area a lot quicker. Yeah, I'm coming. Shut up. She looks so funny in that. If you're curious about what that costume is that she's wearing right now, it's actually from Resident Evil. Okay, do our first mission. Yeah. I know how missions work. I'm not gonna bother eating. That sound scares me every time. It sounds like there's some sort of big ass creature behind me. So I'm not gonna bother eating this time, but normally I'd sit down here at the canteen, eat some food, and it would increase my health and stamina. But I don't find the need to for this first quest. For one, these things can't even really do damage to me. Because like I said, this armor is kind of OP. Seeing her in that costume is so fucking weird. And then her talking. I know. I have to kill 7 joggers. I know what they look like. Shut up. Oh my lord, shut up. Yes, I know there's stuff in the supply box. I don't need it. I will take it though, just because that stuff is useful. What do you think I'm doing, dum-dum? When I first started playing this game, I thought it was like, I thought that it didn't give you enough items and stuff. But you don't realize how many items it actually gives you. What the hell is that about? I don't care. Shut your game. Quit lagging. I know what the scout fly is doing. I'm just gonna come over here and kill the joggers. No, you're not. Okay, not that I think I'd actually use this stuff, but might as well harvest these guys. Anytime you kill a creature in this game, you can harvest them for resources. And it's important to harvest as many as you can, because you never know when you might actually use it. Unfortunately, these low tier items really don't do me much good, seeing as it kind of bypasses most of that with the armor and weapon it gives you early on. Now the ore and the bones that you can find around here, that's important to harvest. But you can also find that stuff. Did I already harvest that skeleton? I don't know if I did or not, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. Two more. I'm aware of that. No shit. Because I've never used this weapon before. Oh shit, like... Okay. Deed is done. You can beat it now. many of these fucking things are there? Yeah, screw it. Did he just quit attacking? Is that not something I've never noticed before or something? Nope, that's the indicator they're about to attack. Let me harvest one more. Come on, harvest, harvest, harvest. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Oh well, it's okay. Yeah, I'm not too concerned with harvesting these guys because they're not going to give me a whole lot. I am glad that it gave me a mandragora and blue mushrooms. So, every time you finish a mission, this little screen pops up. Tells you how much money, points, levels, and stuff like that you've gained. Now, this game, unlike most traditional style RPG games, you don't level up your own character. You'll level, well, you do, but your level doesn't actually impact any of your playing. Your level only impacts what you're allowed to fight. It's known as a hunter rank. The hunter rank decides whether or not you can fight higher level monsters. I don't care about voice chat. Now I've finished all the now that I've actually started up, I'm going to create a new session here. You're not going to let me. That's frustrating. Okay, we go to the workshop real quick. Get my login bonus here. Okay. Go over here and talk to my smithy. Yeah. I know you have all kinds of weird stuff. Upgrade equipment, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know how it all works. Okay. Yeah, weapons, hammers. See, look at this. This is the hammer I'm currently using, the iron hammer. And this is a weapon I could make, like would normally be able to make around the same time. Does significantly more damage, like 110 more damage, right? Well, this weapon up here at the top is the weapon that it allows. Oh, and look at the sharpness too. That's very important. See how it's red, orange, then yellow sharpness? And this is very similar. It has actually slightly less sharpness than the iron hammer, but it's got more damage. Well, this is the hammer they throw you into early on, like you can just make flat out right at the beginning. The Defender Warhammer does 260 more damage than the regular one, and it has its first element, which is Blast, a very strong element at that, and it has almost maximum green sharpness. It's ridiculous. It does so much damage. And you can do that for whatever style weapon you want to make just for one iron ore, which the game gives you early on. So now that I have that pretty well set, the next upgrade for it, it's right here. You can't see what it is, but it's just an Anjanath scale. It's a low tier, low class Anjanath scale, and it makes that weapon almost stronger than any low tier weapon you can make in the game. Like, even if I were to upgrade this thing, which would take some iron and then some cobalt and some other ores, even at level, I think, 6, it would still not even match up with what I have right now. Look at that. Only went up 52 points from one level up. Same with the Bone Bludgeon. It's only at 572 and it's still only in yellow sharpness. It takes a lot of leveling up to keep up with this thing. And by the time you have that first thing, you might be at a tier 3 with either one of these other two. So, unless you're grinding out to try to make a weapon that's in one of these other categories, it's going to take forever. And you see how many trees are right here, right now? There gets to be like 60 more that you can do. Like 60 more individual trees. And they go all the way from, I think, the highest rank right now is rank rarity 12. So rarity 1, 2, 3, 4. Rarity 3 is the highest we can go right now because of how low level we are. But eventually you get up to rarity 12. But anyway, guys, I've kind of given you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on what this game is. It looks like I just got iron ore given to me for the DLC. I didn't realize that guy was there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode here. We've gotten into the game, gotten past the boring tutorial stuff, and next episode we'll actually fight our first real monster. It'll have us fight one more low rank monster, but it'll jump straight into the next quest following that very quickly. And we'll fight that yellow creature that we fought that jumped on top of our handler last time around. So if you guys are excited about that, be sure to give this video a big old like and subscribe to the channel, so that way you can see when I upload new videos or go live. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to leave them down in the comment section. And as usual, be sure to leave any suggestions for games you want me to play down in the comment section. For now, guys, that's going to have to do it for me. So I will see you all later. Bye, guys.